Welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on BMC Helix Dashboards 26.1. We're going to be covering the overview. I'm delighted to be joined by not one, but three presenters. First of all, Nikhil will be presenting and starting us off today, and he will do his formal introduction. And we're also joined by a guest speaker, Jitesh. I will let him introduce himself later. And we will also have Rishi that will be running some of our demos today. Before I hand over to the team, I just want to give you a couple of reminders. There is the Q&A section of Zoom. You can find that at the bottom of your screen. Because we've got high numbers joining today, we would ask if you can put your questions in there, and then we will have roughly 15 minutes or so at the end where we will take the questions live. And if we can't get through all of our questions today, which is very common, and Nikhil will agree with me, we get lots, we will take them away and answer them and put them into the Q&A blog post. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nikhil to get things started.
Thank you, Sam, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our webinar participants from wherever you're joining us from all over the world. I'm Nikhil Deshpande, Product Manager for Helix Dashboards as well as Insight Finder, and I'm excited to be back presenting yet another webinar on our most recent release, the Helix Dashboards 26.1. So we're going to cover an overview of the new capabilities that we delivered in this release. And I'm joined by my colleagues, Kshitija and Rishikesh. And so they'll also be introducing themselves. What are we going to cover in this webinar today? Insight Finder, we continue to invest a lot in Insight Finder. We continue to get great feedback from our customers all over the world about how exciting it is to use Insight Finder with their service management, operations management data, and how easy it becomes to democratize the process of developing dashboards and generating analytics out of your data in BMC Helix products and solutions. Today in this webinar, we are going to cover some new views. Views are fundamentally all the products and solutions that are covered by Insight Finder. We continue to look for opportunities to bring new products, solutions, or modules from within our product suite within Insight Finder. So we'll look at what are the new capabilities in this area. We did a UI refresh. We started almost a year ago with Insight Finder, but as its capabilities have grown, we felt the need to refresh the UI. You'll see the new UI. We're going to cover a demo on this as well. We'll also talk about Grafana scenes. This is a new paradigm that Grafana has introduced, and we have tied some of our new features in this release to activation of Grafana scenes. So you'll need to activate scenes to take advantage of some of these features. We are also going to look at Helix GPT value dashboards. These are dashboards that will help you understand and take stock of all the benefits that you have realized from implementing not just Insight Finder, but all Helix GPT agentic solutions, Service Collaborator, OpsFarmer, Knowledge Curator, and so on. How do you benefit from adopting these solutions? We'll look at some value dashboards. And finally, we are going to look at Docu Assistant. This is another exciting area in our product documentation. My colleague Jitesh is going to present the capabilities of what's new or how Docu Assistant can help transform your experience of consuming product documentation. So let's deep dive right into Insight Finder. In terms of our product domains, as I said, we expand the scope of Insight Finder to new products within our product suite. In this release, in 26.1, we have included release management. Not many customers adopt release management, but for those that do, it's important to have visibility into your release management processes, practices, your metrics around release management. So we'll cover that. Then there's knowledge management. This is another area we have enabled the Innovation Studio-based knowledge management module, which is extensively used in business workflows. and you'll see its adoption in ITSM also going forward. So this is going to be a big thing where we will continue to invest our capabilities. So we have included knowledge management. And then this foundation data. Foundation, ITSM foundation data is important for you uh, to write prompts that help you understand all tickets assigned to you or your support groups and so on. We'll look at a few examples shortly. We have also enhanced the capabilities of some of our existing views. So again, based on feedback that we received from customers, we have added the template field to some of the views: incident, problem, no, incident, work order, and change. So if you want to know a list of all the change requests that were created using a specific template, or a breakdown of templates used and how many changes were created using each of those templates, you can do that. We also aligned some description fields, especially the description field was renamed to detailed description to align with the UI elsewhere. This was done in work order and changes. Now I'm going to hand over to Rishikesh to talk about the UI improvements. Over to you, Rishikesh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nikhil, and good morning, good evening to everyone. So my name is Rishikesh. I'm a senior product developer in Helix Dashboard team. And yeah, these are the UI improvements which I will talk about. The first one is Grafana scenes. So it's more a technical term, but what impact it is giving to the users is quite a turnaround. Now we have a dashboard modes as an edit and view mode. So previously these two modes were quite interjoined, so it was very difficult to understand in which mode you are working on. So that is available with Grafana scenes. Then the headers, where we see the time picker and the variables which we create, right? So this header is now sticky, so it will not move even if you scroll through the dashboard. So you always know what variables and what time range you have selected in the dashboard. The UI has now rounded corners. It's quite sleek here and quite fast, as well as it supports session caching. So let's say you visit any of the dashboard, and if you revisit it again, you will not see that jitter of multiple requests going to the backend and getting back the data. So you will not see that dashboard taking time to load, so it will be much more faster. And as Nikhil mentioned, we have tried a couple of features like supporting of header colors in Excel with the Grafana scenes. So again, Grafana scenes is a feature flagged, a controlled feature flagged behavior. So with that, you will all again get the header color support in Excel, as well as the feature of dynamic report bursting. So you can now send multiple reports to your multiple users, and it will not be a copy of a report, but rather than it will be a report with the respect to their information. So let's say we have user ABC, and A has access to the records of 5 records, B has, let's say, 2, and C has 3. So whenever you create a schedule, before that, before this feature, all the 5 records were shared to all the users if the schedule was created. But now with dynamic report busting, it will be shared based on his accessibility control, right? So these are the features tied with Grafana scenes. And if we talk about Insight Finder, again, it is completely revamped. Now we have taken the Insight Finder, it was buried into the routes. Now we have taken it out in the header. Now it is accessible from any of the page. The panels are generated right next to your prompt. So whenever you prompt, you will immediately get the panel right in front of you. You can add that panel instantly to a dashboard. You can now copy the prompt, so you don't have to again go and copy manually the prompt. You can just have a copy action. You can instantly copy it, as well as your feedback matters the most. So we have introduced a feedback mechanism as well. So you can give your feedback on the panel generated, or whatever response the insight finder is giving to you. We support the query visualization as well. So if the panel is generated, you can see the query right then and there in the inline panel, and the drawer as it is implemented as a drawer. Now you can squeeze it and enlarge it based on your liking. So yeah, these are all the insight finder changes. So yeah, we will cover those in the demo. I will hand it over to Nikhil again.
Yep. Thanks, Rishikesh. We also delivered a number of dashboards in this release, out-of-the-box dashboards that help you understand or assess the value of Helix GPT in your service management processes. So how does it help you? If you've implemented or deployed any of these agentic solutions from our Helix GPT suite, then you want to get insights into how these tools are adopted in your company, the distribution of users across countries, regions, how it has helped you get any operational efficiency improvements, which is the fundamental point. If you use AI capabilities, it should help you improve your efficiency, your productivity, and your effectiveness of how you execute your processes. So to what extent have these tools helped you realize these goals, productivity and efficiency or effectiveness improvement goals? This is what these dashboards focus on. You'll be able to measure the impact of all the solutions that you have implemented on those specific outcomes, those service desk or service management outcomes that you set forth to improve. So these are the dashboards that we delivered in this release. We'll look at some of these screenshots of some of these. So this is a Helix GPT conversation dashboard. An older version of this dashboard was delivered in 25.2, but there are some new features in this release. So this helps you understand how Helix GPT conversations have taken place, metrics around Helix GPT conversations fundamentally. How many conversations have taken place? What's the conversation feedback? In how many of those conversations did users give you feedback by clicking on thumbs up or thumbs down? It helps you measure deflection rate. How many of those or what percentage of those conversations were carried out without involving either a human agent or a service request? Okay, that's what it shows you. And so it turns out that in this case, of these 9.7 thousand conversations, just 3 were converted into service requests, 2 were escalated to live agent. That's how the deflection rate of 99.89 is calculated. It also shows you an estimate of the LLM tokens that have been used during this reporting period. Then you can also look at distribution of the feedback that you have been getting over time. How much of it is positive? So distribution of feedback in terms of positive versus negative, and the number of instances of feedback. The bar chart represents the number of instances of feedback, and the line chart shows you a distribution. These two lines show you a distribution of positive and negative on each day. You'll also see an overall distribution in this pie chart of positive versus negative feedback. Likewise, you can get detailed information around conversations, the live agent transfer rate. You can see certain spikes on certain days. You can look at the possible, you can then try to find out what could be the reasons for any spikes. Usage trend. You can also measure the number of this dashboard. This panel shows you the number of conversation on each day and the number of users. So you can see the trend of both the adoption across your company in terms of number of users and the volume of conversation, the number of conversations that these users engaged in. You can measure the user adoption in terms of returning users over time. And you can also look at distribution of these conversations across different skills, across different source agents, wherever knowledge articles have been used, you can see what are the knowledge articles that have been used the most, and so on. So a number of panels here that help you, give you a detailed insight into Helix GPT conversations. There's a dependency on the service management release. You need to be on 26.1 for some of these panels to work. So you also, along with the dashboards upgrade, you also need to upgrade your your Helix service management suite to 26.1 to benefit from some of these. So for example, the token usage is more accurate in 26.1, calculations of deflection rate, service requests via Helix GPT, the also have been tweaked a bit in this latest release. So make sure you upgrade to service management 26.1 to benefit from all the panels here on this dashboard. Moving on to Service Collaborator, there are value dashboards in Service Collaborator that help you understand the impact of using Service Collaborator. You can, so this one is for business workflows. You can select a specific line of business and then look at the distribution of how many cases were addressed by Service Collaborator. You can measure MTTR. What's the impact of using Service Collaborator on MTTR? Whenever you, so here, as you can see, there Service Collaborator was not used, the MTTR was 5.55 hours, whereas whenever Service Collaborator was used, it reduced to 1.13. So that clearly shows you the impact of using Service Collaborator. SLA breaches with and without Service Collaborator. Likewise, other ways of analyzing this data. Cases using Service Collaborator, you can see the MTTR trend. So we showed you MTTR for this reporting period, but you can also look at the trend within this reporting period, and so on. There are several details about Service Collaborator in this dashboard. Similar to business workflows, there's a similar dashboard for ITSM as well. Then there's a value dashboard for OpsWarmer that helps you understand the value you've realized from using OpsWarmer. Let's look at the Insight Finder value dashboard. The Insight Finder value dashboard gives you insight about using Insight Finder at your company. How many prompts were entered, how many conversations you engaged in. From these conversations and prompts, how many panels were generated, regardless of whether you saved these panels to dashboards or not. You can see the number of panels that were generated, because we know that many users use Insight Finder to generate visualizations, but they don't necessarily save them as dashboards. But if you do save dashboards, then those dashboards are tagged with a specific tag called Insight Finder, and that's what enables us to measure the number of dashboards created using Insight Finder. There are also some more metrics. For example, the average response time, the number of prompts per conversation, which are determined from these figures, the number of prompts, as well as the number of conversations here, dividing one by the other. You can then get a breakdown of these by various modules or various domains within Helix, operations management and service management. So there you can see some of these events are the most, events, incidents, topology, these are the most used domains for Insight Finder. You can also see a breakdown of response time for these different modules. You can see also a comparison of positive and negative feedback. We introduced the ability to capture feedback. You'll see this in a demo now, but so this pie chart shows you the distribution of positive versus negative feedback. You can see that distribution over time as well in this combination chart. You can see your top users, the users who have used Insight Finder the most, the number of prompts, conversations, panels, and dashboards generated, and so on. So these are all the various ways you can take advantage of these dashboards. There are dashboards for knowledge curator also. I'll not click on this, but we've developed dashboards for IS knowledge management as well as Helix knowledge management. Other changes done to Helix dashboards. So this is apart from Insight Finder. We rebranded plugins. So if you remember, there were plugins, visualization plugins like BMC bar chart, BMC combination chart. So following the rebranding of the company, the split of the company, these plugins have been renamed from BMC to Helix. So they'll appear as Helix bar chart, Helix combination chart, Helix cross tab, and so on. Also, across our agentic solutions, we also decided to rebrand our solutions by dropping that Helix GPT prefix. So now Insight Finder is called just Insight Finder. It continues to be part of the Helix GPT suite of agentic solutions, but this tool will be called just Insight Finder. We also expanded support for more languages in Insight Finder. We already supported French, German, and Spanish previously. Now we have expanded support to Canadian French, Canadian English, and Italian. And we'll continue to, on our roadmap, we'll continue to support newer languages in the future. With that, we are now going to see a few product demos. And for this, I'm going to hand over back to Rishikesh to walk us through a demo of the UI changes.
Yes, thank you, Nikhil. Yeah, let me just know you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Yep. Sure. So I will start with the Grafana scenes, right? So you will see there is not visible difference or quite much difference in the dashboard, but there are subtle differences which makes it much more engaging and much more useful to use the product. So let me open one of the dashboard, which is like aging incident analysis. Right? So you'll see all these widgets took some time to load, right? So okay, and it has loaded all the data. So let me just go back to the home page. You will see this dashboard will come here as recently viewed, and if I click it again, it is much more faster, right? So because all the widgets and all the data has been cached, and if you want, let's say it will be only cached for your session, it will not be cached along the session, so only for your session it will be cached. And if you want immediate or the latest data, you can always refresh and it will get the latest one, right? So this improves the dashboard viewing experience. It is much more faster. The second thing, if you see, if I scroll down now, you can see the variables and the header are sticky, right? So they move along with you. So you have no idea that, okay, what all variables I've selected. Currently, the data is showing with respect to what, that I have a very immediate knowledge and update about it, right? So this is also one more change. And the major difference is the dashboard mode, right? So currently I'm in view mode. So even if I drag any panel, it will not change anything. Previously, that was not the case. If I clicked the panel and if I dragged it, it would have changed its location and the visualization or the panel would have been changed. Now, if you have to do that, you have to change the dashboard or make the dashboard in edit mode. So how you can do that? You can just click here edit and the dashboard will be moved into the edit. With this, now you can modify it, reposition the panels and do anything. And as this is not accidental, now if I go somewhere else, I will only see this message when I actually go into the edit mode, right? So this gives us quite a good separation between what the user is doing and what the user wants to work with the dashboard. And as I mentioned already in the slides, so a couple of features like the panels, when we can export, like if we take an example of this panel, which is a cross tab, and when we export this in Excel, previously the header colors were not supported in the Excel report. It was supported in PDF, but not in the Excel. So that functionality has been extended under Grafana scenes. So if you enable scenes in your stack, you will definitely get that feature. As well as if I go to report scheduler, we have also introduced the dynamic report bursting, right? As I mentioned. So if you create a new schedule and in the dynamic, when you enable the dynamic recipients, as well as if you enable the dynamic report bursting, you will get that feature that the files which are shared to the users are with respect to their roles, right? So these two features are tagged under Grafana Seeds. Okay, so now we can move to Insight Finder. So I think if in the previous release we have introduced the Insight Finder, and it was you can navigate it, or you can open the Insight Finder from this navigation link. And now it is still there, but also you can launch the Insight Finder from this AI icon, right? And this icon is available to you on any of the page. So let's say I again go back to the dashboard and I see a visualization, and now I want to basically recreate it or enhance it according to my need. So you don't need to switch your context and go there. You can immediately launch the Insight Finder icon from here. So it will come as a side drawer, and you can see the Insight Finder is available to you. Right, so this was the first and foremost change, that it has been highlighted on the top bar, so you can access it from anywhere. The second thing, I've already created one prompt just for the demo purpose, that can you give me the incidents count for the last week? So this will generate me a panel right into my Insight Finder UI, right? So there is no different page where it will be loaded and then I need to see it, or if I need to edit it or do any changes, you can immediately do that into your prompts. So it is much more collaborative, and you can much more engage with those prompts. The recommendations have been hidden under this collapsible element. So based on my prompt, the agent has responded, do you also want to see how many incidents were resolved, then what was the average time taken? So these are the suggestions or the recommendations from the agent which was given to us. And as I mentioned, now you can copy the prompt from here, so you don't need to manually do that, and you can change your prompt from there. Then the next enhancement, or the feedback mechanism which we have implemented, is like you can always like the panel which you have generated, and if you dislike it, you can tell us more about what was the experience bad with respect to you, how we can improve it, because always feedback help us improve the product and engage more with the users. That is always the goal from our team, from the dashboard and from Shivant. So this was the feedback, and few more functionality which you can do on the panel is like you can view the query. You can add this panel which you have created into a dashboard. So this will not add into an existing dashboard. It will construct a new playground for you, a new dashboard, and it will add that panel over there. And basically, whatever panels you create, it will start adding those panels into the new dashboard. It will not edit your existing dashboard. And one more beautiful functionality which we have added is like exporting a PDF. So now once the panel is generated, you can immediately create a copy of it or create a report out of it. And I've already downloaded that PDF. You can see something like this. As this is a count, or it is just giving a count, so it is just a count, but we can always generate any type of panel here, like a table or a bar chart, and you can get that report out with just click of a button, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the Insight Finder and Grafana scenes. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishikesh. I'm going to share my screen again now. Okay, so let's look at some of the newer features in terms of the new products that we have enabled within Insight Finder. We'll start with release management. So I'll ask for a count of releases submitted last month. You don't necessarily have to enter a complete sentence like show me a count of releases or give me a count of releases. It could be a short phrase like this: count of releases submitted last month. So we see we got 30. It also returned two recommendations: how many releases were completed last month. We could click on this. What was the average risk level? I'll click on one of them. So these are recommendations that Insight Finder has provided based on its understanding of the underlying schema. Remember, Insight Finder understands the schema of all of these ITSM processes: incident, problem, change, release, knowledge, and so on. And based on the prompt that I entered, it has recommended two prompts that are close to my line of questioning, close to my line of analysis. It looks like there aren't any releases completed last month. Going on, let's look at one more. Submitted last month for each risk level. So I want to find a distribution of releases submitted in the last 1 month or in the last month for every risk level. Let's see what we get. Yep. So we got the distribution by different risk levels. I can expand the window as necessary. Now it has ordered it in the descending order of counts. Okay, but if I wanted to have this in terms of, let's say, order by ascending order of risk level, I want it ordered in the ascending order of the values of risk level. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and so on. So I asked it to reorder. There you go. And just as you can do for incident changes, problems, you can also analyze, or you can ask it to say, show a breakdown of releases by priority. There you go. Okay, so that's about release management. You can go on based on uh, various ways in which you can analyze releases, priority, impact, and so on. All possible ways that you could do it. You can enter your prompts. I missed one thing though, and maybe better late than never. Let me show you how. Yeah, so here you need to, in this admin configuration, I'm sure you're aware, you need to activate or enable the views that you want to use Insight Finder with. You'll see some new ones here: business workflows, knowledge management. This is the IS knowledge management that I'm going to present today. Then there's release management. This is new. And service management foundation. These three views are new in Insight Finder. Should have covered that first. Okay. Yeah, so that's about release management. Now let's enter a few prompts on knowledge management. I'll ask for a count of knowledge articles 271. How many knowledge articles were created in the past 1 month? Now, this is very specific about the number of knowledge articles created in the past month. So 17 created. What is the average age in days of knowledge articles created in the past month? Yeah, that's it. And so on. So you can go on analyzing this depending on your needs. Okay. I'll enter one more. How many knowledge articles were created in each week during the past month? So I've asked for a distribution of knowledge articles created by week. Summarize by week how many knowledge articles were created in each week in the past month. No, this did not work. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll move on to incident management, especially the foundation data with incidents. Let me ask, show a count of open incidents assigned to me. Yeah, so it shows 12 created. If you just want to view the query, yeah, so these are all status less than resolved is, these are all open, and it has added this condition, login ID equals user ID. So my user ID, it checks for the login ID. I can also ask for show list of incidents or list of open incidents assigned to me. You can go beyond me. You can also ask for incidents assigned to my support groups, which is what I'll do next. Give me a list of incidents assigned to all support groups that I belong to. So I want to have a list of all incidents that are assigned to all the support groups that I belong to. And I could have worded this in different ways, that I belong to, that I am a part of, that I am a member of. The LLM understands all of these terms to mean me, all the groups that include me as a member. Okay, so yeah, so this is the list of incidents. So it looks for my login ID and all the groups that include me. Okay, and I'll add one more list of incidents with work log details where I submitted work log entries. So I want incidents with work log details. Which ones? Only those records where I submitted work log entries. So this is where Insight Finder joins the incident view with the service management foundation view, and it automatically creates those joins in creating that query, and gets us the query result. Yep, so this is what we get. That's about all in terms of my demo. I'm now going to hand over to Jitesh for Docu Assistant.
Thank you, Nicole. Greetings, everyone. I will talk about Docu Assistant. So let me share my presentation. Give me a sec. I hope everyone can see it. So as I said, I'm Jitesh Amblapad. I'm a Director Information Experience at BMC Helix. I'll be taking you through Docu Assistant. So what does Docu Assistant do, or what does it mean? Basically, it's a conversational AI assistant, if you will, that helps you converse with our product documentation. With that, it basically helps you simplified information discovery, and also not only helps you with how-tos, it also helps you with feature discoveries and troubleshooting. So it's not just trying to get a how-to out of the documentation. It's whatever documentation provides, it kind of gives you in a conversational format. So it's very easy for you to go on conversing with the documentation instead of trying to find a needle in the haystack kind of a thing. That's the main idea of this whole solution. And it's as I said before or not, it's powered by our own Helix GPT. So how do you use it, right? So today, this Docu Assistant is enabled in all our Helix web pages of docs. So if you go to any of the web pages or the docs pages and go to the Helix versions of the pages and log in, once you log in, which is an important step, once you log in is when you will start seeing the icon on the rightmost bottom that you can click and enable. And once you click on it, as I showed in the previous screen, you'll have the Docu Assistant pop up and you can start conversing. So I'll take you through the demo and take you through all this. Now, once you start conversing with the Docu Assistant, it would be good that I would say is to provide feedback. So because that's very important, if really speaking, because that will help us to fix gaps in documentation if there are any, and also improve the experience. Like it might not answer the way you're looking and for an answer. All those kind of things can be tried to fix with your feedback, and that will always help to make this experience better. And you will not need to browse through documentation. You can converse to the documentation. That's our end goal. So, oops. What does this Docu Assistant cover, right? It covers for all products that have releases 23.3 and above. And also for some of the legacy products, we have the last available version, except for Footprints, Trackit, Remedy Force, which is still not supported. It will come soon. We are working through that. So with this quick intro, let me take you all through the actual demo so you can see it in action. Give me a sec. Let me share my browser. Here, if you see, I'm on the docs main homepage. Over here, any of these Helix pages, if you go like the service management, Helix GPT, observability, or any of these tiles that is there under that, the pages, if you go, you will get Docu Assistant. But for that, you'll have to log in. So what I'll do is I'll first go into the service management page here and go and log myself in. Once I finish logging in, it will start showing the Docu Assistant icon on the right bottom. If you see here, it's showing up. So if I click on it, it will pop up the conversation window. And let me use this to converse something, right? Like today we had the dashboard session. So I'll just ask that question saying, what are the value dashboards available for Helix GPT? I made a typo. I don't mind about that. I'll just see what it gives. And if you see, it'll tell me all the dashboards, more or less the dashboards that Nikhil already talked about. And also it shows me where all it is pulled from. If you see, it is showing from the 26.1 release is what it's pulled on. It can pull based on the latest version of our documentation. And then if you want a specific version, you can actually change it to say, what are the value dashboards available in Helix GPT 25.3? And if there is any, it will pop that up. Now, similarly, if you want to know, this is just kind of a feature discovery in a sense, if you will. And if I want to know, like, how can I use Insight Finder in Helix Dashboard, I can say it like this as well. Like, instead of saying dashboards, I could just say HDB, and it will start looking at the content and get you the information. And all these links above, while that writes up, all the links that it points to are clickable. That's the main point of this. So if I go and click on this, I'll be able to go to that page in documentation and I can go read more about it if I want to, if my answer is not enough. And if I want the videos, these are the video sources also that it lists, and it gives a small snippet of what the video is around the question, based on the question, and you can click on that and go to the YouTube video as well directly. So that's the great thing of what this Docu Assistant provides. It's, as I said, it's not only how-tos, it's also feature discovery and also troubleshooting. Some of the errors, if you get a 500 error, if you put that in, it will see if that information is there in documentation, and accordingly, it will give you the steps to either fix it or what could be the solution. That's a quick demo that I wanted to take you all through because this is new. Wanted to introduce this all to you all and make sure that you use it so it's easy for you to use documentation and find help for what you need quickly without even opening a support case. That's it from my side. I'll hand it over back to Nikhil and we can go from there.
Thank you, Jitesh. Right, a number of questions have come. We've responded to several questions. Let's walk through some of the open questions.
Okay, if you want to go on those, we've got a couple of slides at the end as well, but let me just start unmuting because I know there's quite a few long questions. So, Aaron, I can see you've asked a question. Do you want to come off mute and ask it live? Can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
It's a bit of a long one, and maybe it's out of the scope of the intention of this meeting, but I was just thinking about the sort of the infrastructure and how data is queried. I imagine it's using API and speaking to probably platform int application servers and not going direct to DB. Is that true?
Kshitija, do you want to answer this? Else I can.
Okay. Maybe Vishal can answer this.
Yeah. Yes, the Helix GPT, I assume you're referring to the Helix GPT value dashboards, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we query it in the existing APIs like the AR SQL API, like we query for every other SQL query. It goes through the same API.
Just to clarify, it uses the platform application server API. It's not running direct SQL.
No, it does not directly connect to the ITSM database.
Okay. And so it takes into consideration filters and application and access permissions that would run on the filters for a form. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
true. Anything that you do from Helix dashboards, whether it's these Helix GPT value dashboards or any dashboard that you run from Helix dashboards, it will honor the data level access control that the user has. Whatever permissions the user has been granted in that application, such as ITSM, those will be honored. If a user does not have access to, let's say, changes and releases, then they will not be able to see that data through dashboards or through Insight Finder. That integrity of access control, data level access control, is maintained across the Helix platform, including Helix dashboards and Insight Finder.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for your question. And I can see, Bashka, you made a comment in the Q&A. I don't know if it's more comment rather than question. You were just mentioning about planning to upgrade to 25.401 this quarter. Did you have any question outside of that? Can you hear us? I did see you come off mute. Yes, hello.
Yeah, hi. So right now we are on 25.4 version, and we have completely heavily customized ARS applications. So can we like leverage this Helix dashboards and integrate our custom based forms into Helix dashboards? Like right now, whatever the demo I've seen is for the complete out of the box incident management and the knowledge management. But what happens to the customers who are having completely customized ARS flows which have been using for the last 20 years, and even they would like to utilize these dashboards as well? So is there some feasibility which we can use it?
Good question. This is a roadmap item. You will need to upgrade to the Converge platform, come to the latest innovation suite, the latest platform, and then we'll provide you the ability to design these metadata views, like what we have for incident, problem, change, and so on. We'll give you a tool to do that, where you can design your own schema or bring that schema into Insight Finder, and thereafter you'll be able to query your custom applications, custom forms, fields from Insight Finder. This is a roadmap item.
Okay, so for that we have to be on the latest version 26.1.
Not necessarily, but you should be on a recent version, 23 or above. 23.x or above.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. It's 21. The Converge platform is 21.3 or later. So you should be in 21.3 or later. Only then you'll be able to use Helix Dashboards and Insight Finder.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that, sir.
Okay, Niall, I can see you've got a question. Do you want to come off mute? Can you hear us? If you don't want to come off mute, Nikhil, the question that's come from Niall is there something that needs to be enabled for read-only by default? They're on dashboards version 26.1 and they don't have those options.
I don't follow this question. I'll ask my team if anyone can understand. Feel free to answer if you can understand this question, but I cannot.
Yeah, in terms of what read only, that I mean, need to have some context.
I think the edit mode that Rishikesh showed.
Okay.
So Rishikesh, I think the steps for enabling that edit mode is required here.
Yeah. So if I think customer is asking about the Grafana scenes. Yeah. So it
Grafana
is
scenes, correct.
Correct. So it is a feature flag based behavior. So I think we will have to customer will have to request and then we can enable it for them.
Yeah. So one support case I think is required to enable this feature flag. If you can, Rishikesh, if you can give feature flag name, I think that will be helpful for him.
Yeah, sure. I will
Thank you. Thank you. And if you just write back to the question, I've just answered it. If you can go back into the answer and just add to that, that would be great. And we'll share that with you today. Okay. Anders, there was a question from yourself. I'm just seeing if you're still here. Yep. Do you want to come off mute and speak to us live? Otherwise, I can read your question for you.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Hello.
I had a question about the crosstab panel. Does this version have an auto height adoption in case you have variables that a user can select a lot of rows to be displayed? Then it will be scrollable, and if you export that to a PDF, then you don't get the complete crosstab, for example.
Okay, nothing has changed in this release for crosstab, but let me ask the other panelists if this is supported already.
Yeah, Andrew. So if you're talking about report, I think in the simple layout PDF, right? We already support the full data for the crosstab. So I think, are you trying the PDF in the grid layout? So we should definitely try in the simple layout, which will give us the full data for the table as well as the crosstab.
Anders, does that answer your question, or do you have anything further?
I think that's enough. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Rohit, I can see you've got a question in the chat. Let me just unmute you now. Can you hear us? Rohit? I know you had your hand up as well. Kadam. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi. So I have one questions. So can we customize the forms which we are doing in BMC ARS system? Like here for the we if you want to change the life cycle of the incident module, HPD helpdesk form, so we can customize by own. Can we do that in the
I'm not
BMC?
sure. Is this a question about Helix dashboards or is it about the ITSM application?
So it's about ITSM application.
So this webinar is focused on dashboards only.
No, that is like ITSM models only. But can we customize that as per the uh, our requirement or client requirement as in a Helix dashboard? So for asset module for CMDB.
So are you asking related to Insight Finder support for custom fields?
Insight Finder.
Okay, so I answered this question for one of the other person as well. But yes, so for example, in incident management, you want to add some custom fields, which are already you have done customization on, for example, HPD help desk form, and um, that you want to add in Insight Finder, then you can use Metadata Studio to add those custom fields and create a custom view by using a base as incident management. And then you can enable that custom view in Insight Finder. But you have to use incident management OTB view as a base and extend that and create
So
custom view.
this is in feature in 23.x or latest version we need to use.
23x, it's Nikhil, you're sure about this? 23x, I don't think. We have to be on 25x, and then that feature exists. I can share the exact matrix, dependency matrix. It's there in the documentation. So I'll respond with the exact
Thank
dependency.
you. And we'll add that to the Q&A.
Thanks.
Sure.
Rohit, did you have any other questions, or did it answer your later question that you put into the Q&A as well? Okay, I think you're okay. Right, so there was a question, Jitesh. I think it was for you. I'm struggling to understand it. Do you want to have a look at the? It's come from someone where I can't recognize the name actually, because it just says anonymous, but it's something related to you or the questions. It says, "Can you please confirm something that was said earlier on the new dashboards?" But I'm not sure if that was you with you, and it's like a copy and a paste. I'm really confused. Can the team have a look at that one? It's come from someone with no name. 247.
It's a big copy and paste, so I did not understand as well. Yeah.
Likewise, I'll tell you what, because we're running out of time and we've gone a minute over, we can follow this up unless someone understands it. Ishita?
Yeah, so it's that the entire question looks to be available below as anonymous attendee. I wanted to check whether our current architecture supports creation of fully customizable widgets across all modules. That's the question.
Yeah, that's that question I have raised.
Yeah.
So I said CMDB, if you want to customize overall 1000 number of assets, so we have to show the trigger the alert. If we trigger the alert, so it will be showing dashboard. Like once we click, how many log will be on critical. So this how we can do in which version in Helix dashboard. So log monitoring, flow monitoring, alert monitoring. Like if you want to show using the dashboards, so if we can use Insight Finder or yes.
You can normally create the dashboards and I mean, instead of using Insight Finder, you can create dashboard and make it work.
No, like I want to show like how many in I asset management module. So
Okay.
with person using my asset, like I want to show
Mm-hmm.
the using the widgets. So how so this functionality we have or any limited functionality. So in docs we have like mentioned that all
Mm-hmm.
configurations. All how is it? How we can do?
So you want to build a dashboard on asset management. That's what the
Yeah,
question is. And
correct.
using Insight Finder.
Like agent based or agentless. So we have both
Yeah.
like we have both a feature in this SaaS platform, or how is it?
Yeah, I mean, uh, in asset
Like
management, you can have prompts based on your requirement for asset.
so we have both features. We can use agent based and without like agentless.
I'm assuming that you are on 26.1 or 25x at least. I'll share the dependency matrix, and I think there you will be able to catch that if the version which you are using is the right version to use.
20.25x. No, I think I want to know like which this feature is not in 23.x.
Insight Finder feature in 23x, you will not see it working because we have a dependency on platform side, and you
Okay.
need to have 25x version to make it work end to end.
25.4. You'll need to upgrade to 25.4, or
Yeah.
if you're doing it now, 26.1.
Okay. 25.1 and 26.1.
25.4 or later.
Okay.
25.4 or later. If you upgrade now, you should upgrade to 26.1, the latest one.